Hey up everybody, Magpie9901 here bringing you a Call of Duty World War II video. Now yesterday in London we had the reveal for Call of Duty World War II. It was about an hour long, it gave us a fair bit of information towards the game, although it was scant on some details, especially the multiplayer and how that will work. But in this video I'm going to go into what we do know, lay it all out, and you can make of it what you will. So first off, we'll get the basics out of the way. It's going to be coming to the PS4, the Xbox One and the PC on the 3rd of November, and if you pre-order the game there will be a closed private beta that you can join. Now Sony has done a deal with Activision to have exclusivity rights on the DLC, so any DLC for this game will be early accessible for you on the PS4 30 days before everybody else. I'm not sure if that applies to the closed beta as well. I would assume that it does, and Xbox One owners and PC owners will just have to wait. So this Call of Duty is going back to World War II. They talked a lot about taking the Call of Duty franchise back to its roots. Obviously Call of Duty started out as a World War era themed game. We had quite a few games based in the World War, and then they went off and started to go into the modern warfare and then into the futuristic stuff. But Sledgehammer Games were given the green light to take it back to its roots and give us a very authentic feeling, very authentic looking and sounding game. They've done a hell of a lot of work behind the scenes. It's now been in production for almost 3 years. They've gone and looked at authentic vehicles, weapons, they've digitised them to put them into the game so that they look exactly like they should do. Done a lot of recording sounds so the guns and the vehicles sound exactly like they should do. And there's generally a lot of work gone on in the background for this game. And they've also brought in some actors, one of those being Josh Drummel. He's from, you'll know him from the Transformers movies. He was brought in. They've done a lot of green screen work with him and the other actors so that the facial expressions, the body movements are all exactly how they should be. And you're not going to be looking at Mass Effect Andromeda animations here. You're looking at first class animations within this game. Josh Drummel was instantly recognisable from the trailer even before I knew he was in the actually took part in the game. You could tell it was him. So yeah, they've done a hell of a lot of work behind the scenes for this game to give us an authentic feeling game. They talked a lot about boots on the ground, and this is in reference to the previous Call of Duty games where you've been able to walk on walls, you've had exoskeletons that allow you to jump higher, you've had jetpacks. This is taking it back, basically is taking it back to its roots, taking it back to warfare, how it should be, or how a lot of us like it to be. So in the campaign you're going to be playing the Josh Drummel character, who is called Ronald Daniels. He's part of the bloody first infantry. Those are the first people on the ground, so you can be one of the first off the boats on the Normandy beach for the D-Day landing, things like that. And you will play alongside what they're calling the Brotherhood. So if you think of Band of Brothers, it's going to be like that. They're going to try to really promote the camaraderie and the brotherhood that people did experience during this time. You were put together with strangers and you had a common enemy, and people came out of it best friends, for life after that. So they're going to try and promote that within the game, try and get that authentic feeling going through the game. Whether that actually comes off within the game or not, we'll just have to wait and see. Now the campaign mode is solely going to be set within Europe, and it's going to follow some of the big iconic battles. It's going to take you to some of the most iconic locations. And these are locations that the Sledgehammer Games have actually been to, they've photographed to try and give it the most authentic feel that they can. It's obviously going to be very story driven. They didn't go too much into the story or go into how long this campaign will be. Previous Call of Duty games, the campaigns have tended to be a little bit of a letdown, especially recently. You can play through them in 3 to 4 hours. They're just not worth it. But in this reveal, they mainly just spoke about the single player. So they're definitely concentrating on that at the moment and trying to push that as the main selling point of the game. So next up we've got the multiplayer, and details for this are very scant. They didn't really want to be drawn on this at the reveal. People were asking questions, but they didn't want to go into it too much, obviously. They've said that there will be a full multiplayer reveal at E3 this year. People will actually get to play it, so we're going to have to wait until then to get the main details on it. Of course it's going to include the usual modes within it, and they're also talking of a new mode called War, which is an asymmetric battle between two sides, and it's going to take place in the iconic battle places such as the Normandy D-Day landings, etc. Didn't go into it much further than that. The progression through the multiplayer is going to be done through what they're calling divisions, so what exactly they are we don't know. They said that you would just simply sign up to a division and your progress would be tracked through those. And that was really it for multiplayer. They didn't go into it much. They said there's going to be like a hub which is called Headquarters. This is like a social hub, and they showed a little 3-second clip of this. And if you've played Destiny, you will know the tower location. You go back to the tower and there are other people there. There are vendors there. So I think it works along the lines of that. Exactly how it will work isn't known right now. They just showed a little picture of it and that was that. They didn't go into details and they wouldn't really be drawn into details. So for multiplayer, it's very scant right now. They did say that there will be a zombie mode that is going to be coming back into this. If it will play like the Treyarch zombie modes do or not, it isn't sure. They did say that the setting was right towards the end of the war. They said that the Third Reich was getting desperate, so they decided to experiment and unleash an army of the dead. So could it be like a bit like the Horde mode within Gears of War where you're fighting them off? You know, we just don't know yet. They showed a picture, it looked pretty cool, but other than that we got nothing more to go on. Overall we got very little in the way of gameplay mechanics. They have said that your health will not regenerate within the game, so they didn't say how you would go about getting health. You know, will there be a medic within your team? Will you have to find health packs? They've also said that this will be the same for ammo, but they haven't said whether this will just be in the single player or whether this will follow through into the multiplayer. Could be that the multiplayer plays the same as always, but then there's maybe a hardcore mode where this happens. Again, very little information given on that. So it is more or less just a case of waiting and seeing what comes out of E3, and you know, that'll fill in a lot of the gaps that we've got right now regarding this game. There was a lot of information emitted from this reveal, but I think the purpose of the reveal was to show what work they've actually put into this. And you know, bonus points to Sledgehammer Games, they have really done their research on this. They've really gone to town in making sure that the weapons and the vehicles and the locations look as historically accurate as possible. But of course this is a Call of Duty game, so you're going to have a certain amount of Hollywood dropped on top of it, so you can expect the big cinematic scenes. You'll see them from the trailer if you check that out. I will put a link to that down below. So yeah, I'm kind of on the fence over this Call of Duty. I always buy every Call of Duty game, I always have, but I will say for the last 5 or 6 years I haven't really been enjoying them. You know, Ghosts and Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare. Okay-ish games. You know, I said Infinite Warfare was a good game in its own right, but as part of the Call of Duty franchise, it's just gone in such a different direction now that it's good for it to be going back to its roots. You know, I'm sick of the exoskeletons, I'm sick of the jump packs, I'm sick of the wall walkers. You know, I want to go back to an authentic feeling World War themed game, and that is exactly what they're going to give us with this one. But as I say, we're just going to have to wait for the more juicy details to come around, but it is looking good. It's looking like they're really going to take it back to where it belongs and give us a pretty good game by the looks of it. Now I'm going to follow up in a few days with another video. I'm going to look at the different editions of the games. I'm going to go into some of the pricing, pre-order bonuses, etc, things like that. I'll be doing the US and the UK pricing because right now those are the two places where I have my biggest audience for this channel. And that's really all I've got for you today, folks. As always, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.